All right, joining me now is Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. You know, Marsha, I've got a lot of kids. My kids run social media, and they post videos, you know, whether they're in swimsuits or they're playing, and the little ones and the teenagers all do it. Sometimes I'll repost their videos. But here we're finding out that there's creepy dudes online that are actually saving the videos and doing who knows what with that content.
Yes, you are right. It is disgusting. And this mother in the clip you played has figured out when you're online and you're on these social media platforms, you are the product. What we do know with these dangerous platforms like TikTok, that what they are doing is they are taking this information. Basically, they own the virtual you. Sean, they're building profiles of our children. They're building profiles of future leaders. And they're going to have all of this information. Then what are they going to do? They're going to come back around and they're going to try to blackmail today's children when they're adults in decades yet to come. But this is something every parent needs to beware of this. I have done a safety guide. It is on my website. People can pull that down because it is imperative that parents know they need to take responsibility for protecting their children online. And it is also up to Congress to do something about that, and I've got a solution for that too.
Why? Well, tell me about your solution in Congress. How do we protect kids and families from online predators?
Well, here is my bill. It's Senate Bill 3663. It is by Senator Blumenthal and I, so it is good and bipartisan. It has a ton of support, and we have so many groups of child psychiatrists, teachers, principals, pediatricians who are supportive of the Kids Online Safety Act, because not only does it deal with social media platforms, it deals with these online games. And this gives parents and kids the safeguards, the transparency that they need to protect themselves. It gives parents information on algorithms, and it sets as the default, not as an opt-in, but as a default protections to protect these children from content that would cause self-harm, that would allow predators and these creepy guys online, as you said, from getting the information about these children, from tracking them, from following them, from being able to locate them. And Sean, as we have done our hearings, and we've done 5 hearings this year, plus this legislation, what we have heard across the board from people is that your predators, your drug dealers, traffickers are all using these platforms like TikTok and Snap and Instagram, and they are tracking children. They're collecting this data, and it is imperative to begin to build some protection around this and to hold these platforms accountable.
Yeah, no, Senator, I agree with that. And there's a lot of things that we can do in Congress to legislate better behavior by the platforms. 100% agreed. The problem here, though, is that you have young kids and even parents putting the content of their young kids online, and then you have these creepos who are actually going and saving the content to play it later on, and that's, I mean, that's bad enough. What concerns me, though, is if those creepos take the next step and go, you know what, I'm going from Fantasyland actually to your neighborhood to target your child. You think you're safe in your home, you protected your child, but you have a creepo that's now targeting your kid. That's where my concern comes in, and I think the real answer is parents have to take control and go, listen, you're going to have a closed account. You can't have it, you know, accessible to everyone in the world. It's for you and your friends, and that's it. No one else.
That's right, and that is why setting those privacy standards, tightening that up. And we also have legislation that we've worked on in a bipartisan way that deals with consumer online privacy. And Sean, that is what it does, is allows you to be able to block people and allows transparency and accountability from these platforms. Everyone should ask themselves this question: who owns the virtual you? and that they need to be honest with themselves and say, where am I sharing my information? They should go in and check the privacy settings for themselves and also for their children, and they need to talk to their children about this. We have talked to parents whose children ended up being in contact with a drug dealer, in contact with a predator, children who tried to commit suicide, children that ended up in very difficult situations because of what they were subjected to online. And putting in place these standards that will give the necessary protocols, the necessary penalties in order for law enforcement to go after these guys who are tracking these children online and then move to that physical space in order to harm them.
Senator, you've had a long career in politics defending kids and families. We appreciate that. I got to go, but one quick question. If we go to your website, and you said you have a handbook, does that give best practices and tips to parents on how to protect their kids?
It does. It's
Great.
a one-page sheet that we encourage parents to keep their kids safe online.
Wonderful.
And I was so pleased President Trump talked about keeping kids safe today in his remarks.
I love it. Senator Blackburn, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
You got it.